Welcome to another Hyper Content and Digital Asset Management Server screencast. This time I want to present you the report management. The report management can be used to create your own reports based on all the data available in the system. Keep in mind that you need to have the report management module installed in order to use it. So how can you access the report management? Click on Administration, Report Management. Keep in mind, of course, you need to have the proper permissions to access the report management. What can you do now? You can create new reports, you can delete them, or you can edit them. And you have access to the online manual. Please take a look at the online manual. You will also find some examples of queries that you can use for your reports. So just take a look at it. Okay. So let's start and create our own report. I just name it task list. The report has been created now. I can provide a title for the report. Let's say all tasks. What do we see now? So you can select fields of entities. That means all the available data stored in the database you can see here in forms of those boxes. A box is an entity or table, and the attributes are the field names. So you have object, which is actually the objects in the system, means a page, a component, an asset, and this object has a unique object ID. It has a container ID. The container ID, as you maybe already know, is an XML object that stores all the information of an object. And if you create, for instance, a connected copy, so you have two objects with the same container. So that's why the container is always something very special, because without the container there is pretty much nothing, no object, no text nodes. So the object is the presentation of a container. So it has also an object path. So where is the object located? What's the object's name? It uses a certain template for the presentation, and it has a unique hash code for identification of the object. The container has a unique ID, the so-called container ID. And as you will see, we have the ID as a primary key in the container. You will have it as a foreign key in the object, a foreign key in text nodes, a foreign key in daily stats and in media. And also, yeah, I think that's it. So all these tables can be easily connected and joined using the container ID. The container itself has a container name, a create date, a last modified date. It has a user assigned to it, a latitude and longitude. That's useful when you want to present the geolocation on a map, for instance. Then we have the text nodes. That means every text field you define in your template that has a unique text ID will be saved with the text ID, the text content itself. An object ID will be used when you have a link or a reference to an object ID. For instance, you're using a page link, a component link, asset link. Then the object ID will be available. You have a certain type. Is it an unformatted, formatted text? Or is it a reference to a page, asset, whatever. So now back to our task list. First, I need to select the attributes or fields, so the information that I want to present in my report. So I'm interested in the user that has been assigned to the task, the start date, the finish date, the status of the work, the planned and actual effort. And yeah, also the task name. Okay. So at the same time, when I was selecting those fields, I can see something got built up here. So all the fields are selected. You can see down here as well. in this input field. Let's scroll and go to the next options. We can also define conditions. That means, for instance, you want to only select the task values maybe for a certain user. So in this case, you can say task to user, which is the assigned user to the task, must be secant, which is a username. You can also say, okay, I want to provide the username as a flexible variable. So I say user. And now you see here what you maybe know already from the templates. There's a placeholder. That means if somebody will view the report, he will be asked to provide a username. You can group also the values according to a certain attribute. You can order it. So let's use this. This might be useful. We order all our values according to the start date. And you need to click on OK in order to apply it. At the same time, you will see now the statement that has been created automatically based on our selections or on our inputs. Of course, you can, if you know about SQL, you can also do this on your own. So you can just type in, select all the attributes you want to select from table. You can do some inner joins. This is totally up to you. So actually you don't have to use this graphical user interface. You can just simply type your select statement on your own if you're used to it. Let's save what we have defined so far. And now the last part is we can define now, we don't have to, but we can use a chart. So what is available? There's no chart. That means there will be no chart presented to you. It will be just a table with all the values you selected. Then there's a pie chart that can be used if you want to, let's say, show an overview of certain segments of maybe the users that have been very active in your system. Which users uploaded or downloaded the most files, for instance. Then we have a column chart that could be also used for an, let's say, access statistic. What has been, for instance, downloaded, how many data volume has occurred over the time. Then we have a timeline chart that might be useful now in our case because we have a start and end date. And we have a geo chart. So if you want to use the latitude and longitude, you can use the geo chart to present which users uploaded files from which locations, for instance. So in our case, let's use the timeline chart. So I need to select it. The epsilon value, as you can see here in this example, I define it will be the task name. So I need to select now from my attributes list the task name. Then we have an x1 and x2 value, which will be the start and end date. So I say start and I need to select again the start date and my finish date. Okay. Let's save it again. We can also already create a preview here. And here you will see all the tasks that are available in the system by their name and when will they start and when will they end. So this is just a very simple example of how you can create your report. Of course, there are more complex examples if you use joins to connect data from different tables. This is how you can create your own reports. And thank you for watching.